Hello everyone, my name is TCP and welcome to my guide to building a PC that is cheap and optimized to play CSGO using AMD components to get you the performance you need at a price you can deal with. The parts used in this build are as follows. For the CPU, we have the AMD FX 4354 core processor clocked at 4.2 GHz. And for our GPU, we have the XFX R9 280 DD Black Edition with 3 gigs of GDDR5 memory. This card is also factory overclocked, so that's a plus. For the RAM, 8 gigs of any DDR3 1600 MHz will do. Any brand is fine. But in the event that you're a bit too lazy to find RAM yourself, I'll put some in the description. Our motherboard is the Gigabyte GA97A DS3P socket AM3 Plus motherboard. And for our power supply, we have the Thermaltake TR2 80 Plus Bronze 700 watt power supply. We're using this unit because it has more than enough juice to power our CPU and GPU, as well as the fact that it has all the correct wires needed for our motherboard and GPU, which in this case we will be using one 6+2 8-pin connector as well as one single 6-pin. Our case is the Enermax Thorax mid-tower case. This case is used in my personal rig, but can be switched out depending on your personal preference, of course. And last but not least, the hard drive. This component is completely up to you and your budget, but most drives are extremely affordable, so this part I decided to vaguely go over. I would suggest going with either a 500 gig or 1TB drive depending on your needs, but if your funds are a little more flexible, an SSD as your boot drive as well as a secondary hard drive would help speed things up and give you a little more room. And like before, in case you are too lazy to find one yourself, I will throw one down in the description. And as a side note, in this build I decided to stick with the stock CPU cooler, which in my opinion does the job. Although for an extra $30, third-party coolers can help reduce noise and overall temperatures, but in no way is it a requirement. This build, as of the release date of this recording, is hovering around $470, and I'm sure you can find combo deals on Newegg to lower that price a bit more. Links to all parts will be down in the description. This build, along with a small array of optimization settings and tweaks, gives me from 170 to 500 FPS, depending on the game mode and server, averaging at around 250 FPS in most matchmaking servers, so in the event that you have a monitor with a refresh rate of 120Hz or 144Hz, FPS drops will not be an issue and gameplay will be consistently smooth. Aside from Counter-Strike, this PC performs pretty well actually. For example, we can play Tomb Raider at 1080p with settings maxed out and we would average about 60 frames per second. At the lowest we would dip is maybe about 48, but nothing major. Although if you plan on streaming or dealing with other CPU intensive applications, for $20 more you can pick up the AMD FX 16300 processor with 6 cores as opposed to our 4350. Or you can go all out and get the FX 8350 8-core processor, but in my opinion, unless you're looking to spend the extra cash and stream, the 4350 should be more than enough to suit your needs at a very good price. I have personally built and have been using this PC configuration for a while now, and have yet to run into any kind of compatibility or performance issues while playing on it for hours at a time. So if you have any questions regarding this build, feel free to leave a comment or tweet at me at ChrisPlake on Twitter and I'll try to get back to you when I can. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and if you would like me to go in depth about the specific optimization tweaks and settings I mentioned earlier in another video, feel free to let me know.